White House has been host to a number of Halloween celebrations over the years, starting with Mamie Eisenhower. Mamie was the first one to celebrate Halloween by throwing a Halloween dinner. She had hanging pumpkins from the chandelier. She had little spooky cats and little ghost decorations all around the dinner table. I couldn't find a picture of Ike celebrating Halloween, but here is his mask signed by a historian. The presidential masks are most fondly remembered from the movie Point Break. Here's John F. Kennedy in his office with his kids. They're all dolled up in their Halloween costumes. I believe it's Caroline has the black cat and the witch's costume. John Jr. is wearing like a spooky mask, but his costume says Peter Panda on it. The picture of John F. Kennedy, at first I was like, wow, that's the most amazing John F. Kennedy costume I've ever seen. But no, this is John F. Kennedy. It's his wife next to him in the black bag. And then a family member dressed as a tongue, I guess. I don't know what they're doing. And then there's the kids there. And now you notice John Jr. doesn't have the Peter Panda shirt. So I don't know if he wore a different costume earlier in the day. Hey, when you're the president's son, maybe you get to change. Secret Service has to run out to the Kmart and buy you a new costume. Here's a candid photo of Caroline Kennedy, I believe, John's daughter, with John F. Kennedy. She is wearing the John F. Kennedy Halloween mask. After Kennedy, we got Lyndon Johnson. I could not find a single picture of Lyndon Johnson celebrating Halloween in any way, in any form, at any point in his life. But I did find this weird picture of him and his wife in bed with a bunch of people watching them. This was apparently taken as the election results were coming in, I think in 1978. The Richard Nixon mask is the only presidential mask that has its own Wikipedia page, which I found very interesting. It's got the long, ridiculously long nose. This mask was featured in South Park, in The Family Guy, and in an episode of Johnny Bravo where a shark wore a Richard Nixon mask as a disguise. Here's a shot of the White House during the Nixon presidency. We can see it's decorated. They've got a big pumpkin out front. We'll get other shots of that. Pay attention to this pumpkin because this pumpkin comes up a bunch. Here's a post-presidential picture of Richard Nixon. This is him handing out candy at his house in New Jersey. Apparently, he would give every kid a full-size candy bar of their choice and a soda and an autographed card. Here's another picture of Richard Nixon, and you can see with him there, kids dressed as the Ninja Turtles. Here's the thing about Richard Nixon. He loved Halloween, but he also loved going to Disney parks. So much so that he didn't mind being photographed in a car that says Dopey. He was friends with Walt Disney, but even after Disney died, he continued to go to those theme parks. Here's a picture of Richard Nixon with his grandson meeting the Dreamfinder and Figment at Epcot. And for no reason, here's Richard Nixon with RoboCop. Moving to the Carter administration, that is Jimmy Carter wearing the mask, like he's at the Eyes Wide Shut party. There's Rosalind Carter, and then there's little Amy Carter there. She was a kid at the White House, which was unique at the time. It only happens every once in a while where you get a young kid that's growing up at the White House. So they did a whole Halloween celebration. I don't know what this costume is supposed to be. The guy has some kind of a map or some kind of marking on a hat on his head. But this one is a reference to pork barrel spending. So you can see it's got a pig and it's got the barrel. And so these were probably, the other one was probably a political joke. I just couldn't find anybody online that had decoded it. So I'm going to show it to you again. If you can figure it out, please let me know in the comments. And there it is. You can see. Looks like it says maybe free sanitization. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. But that's it. It's like, looks like maybe a topographical map on his head. So here is some pumpkin decorating with the President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, there with Rosalind, and the kids are all decorating. I like the wild, gigantic pumpkin on the Resolute desk, I think, there. That's fantastic. This is one of the pumpkins that was decorated by the White House staff when Jimmy Carter was in office. Now, we talked about this pumpkin in front of the White House. I'm almost positive this is the exact same one. Now you can see how big it is. It was in front of the White House there 2 administrations before, and here it is. There was a Jimmy Carter mask that you could buy from Ben Cooper in addition to the rubber mask. Well, what I like about this mask, so it's a weird caricature of him, but if you flip it around and look at the inverse, it looks just like Ted Kennedy. So I don't know if you guys are old enough to get it, but that's what the man looked like. Ronald Reagan, I could find no pictures of him celebrating Halloween, but this picture is of a pumpkin out in front of the White House the day after Halloween. Reagan's looking at it and it says, "Stay the course." And this was the day before the November 2nd election. So it was "Stay the course, stay with Reagan." So that's it. But that's the only Reagan Halloween I could find. I could, however, find pictures of Reagan wearing funny costumes. So here he is with a sombrero. Here he is going, it says, wearing a fake mustache and a plaid blazer and a turtleneck during a congressional barbecue. Here he is in the Oval Office wearing an anti-Dukakis mask. So Dukakis, I know a lot of you are like, whoa, I think they have to bleep that on YouTube. But no, Michael Dukakis was a man who ran for president against him. And so apparently he wore a like Ghostbusters kind of slash Dukakis mask. It has the big bushy eyebrows. It's got a big nose. Dukakis had kind of a big nose, almost a Groucho Marx thing, only no glasses. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to be a Fonzie and give this video a thumbs up. And when you do, go, hey, just like Fonzie would. It helps with the algorithm, gets more people to see this video, and I truly appreciate it. So go ahead and click that thumbs up. Here is another giant pumpkin in front of the White House. You see George Bush and Barbara Bush exiting through the mouth of the giant pumpkin. This is part of a Halloween party for kids on the White House lawn. There's President Bush, that's Barbara Bush, and the gentleman there, that's Willard Scott, the weatherman who also was the first Ronald McDonald, and the weird one with a cup for a nose. You guys are probably, I'll put it up on the screen. So here's President Bush. This is the first President Bush, the father of the second President Bush. There he is giving some candy to some trick-or-treaters. Here he is with his two grandchildren. So that's Jenna and Barbara Bush. It looks like one of them's just like a goth chick and the other one's a juicy fruit. We're going to skip over Bill Clinton for now. We'll get to him. But here's George W. Bush posing with some trick-or-treaters. And he's giving a wave. And then the robot, you can see there's a genuine, real... There's a real robot in this picture, and so it waves as well. And then there's a kid in a Redskins outfit. There's another one, George Bush greeting some kids. One of them's bald. This guy was always good for a fun picture. He's like, what do I do with this duck? I don't know what to do. All right, so going back one president, this is Bill Clinton, him and Hillary there as Dolly and James Madison. So that's a president dressing up as another president for Halloween. Hillary is shown here posing with a Hillary mask. So that's probably the most popular First Lady mask ever. Here is a picture of Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom dressed as Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. Obama did not get dressed up for Halloween. Now, it had sort of become a tradition. You could see some of them didn't do it, some did. Obama did not dress up for Halloween, which is surprising because he seemed to really love it. Here he is with a kid dressed as Superman. And here he is handing out candy to all the kids at the house. And then this is my favorite one. This is Obama giving the thumbs up with the kid in the Pope outfit in a little Pope mobile. President Trump, when he was giving out candy, got this minion, and the minion didn't have a bag and had these like little arms, and so he just put the candy on top of the minion's head. Here is President Trump with First Lady Melania Trump and two kids dressed as them trick-or-treating. Let's see who President Trump really is. Here is the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, greeting some trick-or-treaters, including a kid riding a dinosaur, and Joe's like, I remember when I rode my first dinosaur. And finally, here's a picture. That is a senator dressed as Joe Biden on the Senate floor with Joe Biden before Joe Biden became President Joe Biden. So there you have all that. Well, this was fun. Fun look back at Halloweens of the past with the presidents of the United States. Very interesting. Please let me know what you think in the comments. If there was a favorite of those or a moment I missed, please let me know, because I find this stuff interesting. Right around the corner, we've got Thanksgiving, and so we'll have to once again talk about some of those presidential turkey pardons, because those are a lot of fun. I do love the weirdness of looking back at history in the presidency, because it's a weird time capsule. Like, you look at those pictures, you could tell immediately what decade it was. Well, right now a box is going to pop up here and here, and you can choose either one. I'm in both. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We're going to do something altogether new, unpresidential, possibly Halloween related. I haven't thought it out yet, but I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock.